Greetings everyone, back again, answering yet more questions from my Q&A video. For anyone who's stuck through this whole thing, I really appreciate it. I hope that I am giving you the answers that you wanted out of this. Coming up next is my good buddy Ms. Pohl, who does some great videos showing off some cool stuff, man. Like, I am jealous frequently. I've got 4,000 DVDs and I see stuff you've got. I'm like, where does he get this stuff? This is amazing. He asked, what's your favorite film with a number in the title? This is a really tough question, because I was sitting there going through in my head, just stuff that popped into my mind, stuff like Seven and 3 on a Meat Hook, Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven. A lot of stuff was Seven in it. 28 Days Later, Wong Kar-wai's 2046. There's so many of them, but I ended up going with the Three Amigos. So, I have no clue why. I mean, that's just kind of the one I'm like, man, it's a funny movie and something with the title. So sure someone will correct me and go, well, what about this movie? And I'll be like, damn, that's the movie. That's better than Three Amigos. But I'm going to say Three Amigos just because I think a lot of people will be like, oh, it's Seven, or it's, one of those other titles that I listed off. But again, I would love to hear suggestions on what you guys think is the best movie with a number in the title. That is a really good question, Ms. Pohl. Samantha Vlassis says, hey, congrats on the 400 subs. What was your first DVD? Samantha Vlassis, I think, is relatively new to YouTube. I watched a couple of her videos. She's going to do very well. She's a cute girl who talks in an accent about her cool horror movie DVDs. So I think you guys, if you haven't checked her out, look her up. She's got some cool stuff. My first DVD, when I bought my DVD player, say it was in 1999, I bought it at a Best Buy in Longview, Texas, because I was going to college not far from there, and I bought Stanley Kubrick's The Shining and a copy of The Matrix, which seemingly is like standard issue. If you bought a DVD player that year, you bought a copy of The Matrix. Everybody bought it. And I think I got like a free DVD from Sting, which is something I didn't keep because Sting sucks. And take that, Sting. I'm probably going to want to put Sting in a movie someday. He's like, fuck you, Cameron. You said I sucked that one time. WTT14, which is my good buddy Will Walker, who I did go to college with, actually, asked, in 400 to 500 words, determine if Frank Oz's greatest character is Yoda or Grover. Why? Justify your answer fully to receive maximum credit. Man, 400 to 500 words. I don't know if I can get that in the whole video, Will, but I will say that's a tough question. This kind of goes back. Will Walker does a great Grover impression, and I wish he would do a video of Near Far for YouTube, because I think everyone here would enjoy it. Frank Oz, man. That's a weird one, because like Yoda, as seminal as he is, man, he wasn't even in the first Star Wars movie, so it's like, do you give it to that character, or do you give it to Grover? I mean, Grover taught millions and millions of kids to read, not only through Sesame Street, but I mean, he also doubled up as a superhero with Super Grover, and lead that double life. And so I don't know, man. That's a really tough question. Yoda, I think at this point definitely is more quotable. I mean, he just got legions and legions of fans. The president has been known to quote Yoda, so I guess I'm going to give it to Yoda, because I think it's, for the most part, I think it will be more remembered and more revered throughout the years. But, I will say, for Grover's sake, I mean, he did teach tons of kids how to read and count. And the other thing about Sesame Street in general, man, is like taught kids to love monsters, which I grew up to do. And in such a sneaky way, too. You make them blue with a pink nose and, super furry. And everyone's like, oh, it's just a doll, but it's a monster. That's what Sesame Street was. It was a street full of monsters. So I'm going to go with Yoda, and I'm going to feel bad about it, but I'm going to go with that answer. I have no clue what the word count on that is. I feel like I should have wrote that as an essay and thought that out a whole lot better. But again, this is near, and this is far. So, okay, moving on to the next one. What's your favorite 90s comedy and drama? Going back to, I guess that was from Stephen Raz, if I didn't give the name. What's your favorite 90s comedy or drama? Favorite 90s comedy is a movie I talked about earlier, Groundhog Day, which I think is just killer. I can't really think of anything else that came out that I love more. I really liked Empire Records when it came out. I thought it was a funny movie. That kind of just hit me at the perfect time when they recut it years and years later. I thought it was miserable. I have both versions on DVD, and I rarely watch the recut version or whatever. I don't know what they call it, like the Mega Mix, or it came in a blue box. It's not, whoever the editor was on that movie originally, they did the right thing by cutting that movie down and pulling characters out and things like that. So, but Groundhog Day, maybe Empire Records. My favorite drama of the 90s, hands down, without question, is Pulp Fiction. It's, I think, the best movie of the 90s. Everyone argues again about that not winning the Oscar versus Forrest Gump. Shawshank Redemption also came out that year. Both of the, and I think Shawshank and Forrest Gump are both great movies, and all three of those will be revered forever and ever. But Pulp Fiction, man, just kind of changed the landscape on. I mean, there were so many knockoff movies, in the years that followed. It's great work, and probably my favorite thing, from that time period. Probably not my favorite Tarantino movie, but we'll talk about that more on some other day. Let's see. He also asked, if your house caught fire and you only had time to recover one item, what would it be and why? Oh man, that's so tough. I mean, if we're talking about just earthly possessions and not like my, kids or my wife or anything else, I've got a box of tapes that's pretty much like all the different stuff that I've worked on over the years. I'd have to consider that. I've got some just old like family photos and albums that, from not only, my wife and kids, but grandparents and things like that, just stuff I've saved over the years. I'd have to consider that. I don't know. I mean, I can't. It would probably be the tapes, though. I mean, like, because for all these DVDs that I have and all the camera equipment I have and everything else, ultimately all that stuff can be replaced whenever it comes down to like your actual work or like photographs and family history, things like that. You can't get it back, so I guess I'm going to go with that. That is pretty much it. It looks like that's all the questions. If I missed it, I am sorry. I will try to catch you next time. Again, I bumped up from like 400 to 500 subscribers in the 3-week period that this happened. So for those that are just coming in and those that have stuck with me for the last year, thank you for being around. I hope you've enjoyed this and it's been informative. I would love to do it again, but it'll probably be at least another 500 subscribers from now, because this did take a little bit of time to put together. So anyways, catch you guys later. If you have any more questions, comments, keep them to yourself till I get to the next video. Later, guys. Bye.